In Q&A, we just have one question. It.
ये रिवील नहीं करना था, अपने कुछ बात छुपाना था।
No,
उसको हम किसी
okay,
तरह
now,
लाइक शेड करके बोलते हैं कि लाइक हमारे पास इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस थे बट हम लोगों ने एक चूज किया ऐसे, बट ठीक
okay. So
है।
subtle.
आई नो एक एक बहुत एक्चुअली एक नहीं था,
Okay.
दो कमेंट्स आए थे। एक क्वेश्चन था और दूसरा एक बहुत ही रद्दी कमेंट था जो हम
I sent
रिपीट
a
नहीं
question to
करेंगे।
myself also, so I think there's one another thing. I I asked myself what is the film, but never mind. Okay, I will start now.
Is that
Hello,
the
hello,
question that
hello.
we'll also ask of Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness?
No,
Anyways, go
no, no.
ahead. Okay.
You should ask that to Ayan Mukherjee. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Queen is Dead. I'm Sanjeet. I have Dhruv with me, and we are back after a very short break. And
It's
this is
not
gonna be
that, it's not been that long. You've
no, I
been
know.
off for a while,
I've been off for a while.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
And this
yeah.
is a like this is the only two of us are recording after, I don't know, after Sardar
Sardar
Udham,
Udham.
which
Yeah,
is
that's like a year
which is a while.
back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Sardar
Yeah.
Udham came October 16th or something, right? If I'm not wrong.
So
Last
almost
year.
like a year only. Wow,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, just above a year. So,
Yeah, this movie is not as good as that. Yeah, but okay.
mm, debatable, debatable.
No.
Uh, what no? But this is a short episode. We'll discuss about if you're on this episode, you know what we are going to discuss about. We are discussing about okay, triangle of sadness. I thought I'll just say something. Insert a bullet like yeah. Never mind.
I don't
Triangle of
understand what you
sadness.
want for triangular. No, but
Never
before
mind.
that
Never
we have
mind.
that Q, right? And an A to
Q&A. But we posted a Q&A, but uh, we are going to answer this one really amazing question. The rest of the questions weren't answer worthy. So just the one question,
Yeah.
which is Dhruv. Please tell us the question exactly and who asked us.
Now, okay, wait. It was asked by Meridius, MERIDIUS.IG. So thank you for this
Mhm.
question. It's a great question, I think.
Uh,
Of which I'm pretty sure we both will have no definite answers because there is no definite answer to this question, which is what is the ideal film? Or
Great
he said
question.
define an ideal film. So yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay, it's
What
a
is the
very good
ideal
question.
film for you, Sanjeet?
You tell us. You start. You're
I asked
the.
the question. You told me to ask the question. You have to answer first.
I asked you
Yeah.
to reveal the question.
Okay. So I'll
Please.
reveal
Okay.
it and then I answer it. Okay. So, I mean, for me, the ideal film has to do two things, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And and I think I've more and more sort of gravitated towards this idea. Maybe it's a result right now of reading a book which I've consistently posted about on my Instagram also, Material Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
Mm-hmm.
gets at something which I think is actually quite fundamental to
Mm-hmm.
what I've also considered very fundamental to my love for cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe studying it has like balanced it out a little bit more, like studying about it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's earlier it used to be just sort of emotional uh engagement. A film has to pull me in any way possible. Like, it's not like a specific technique will pull me in. Of course, there are biases. Like
Mm-hmm.
I if someone uses voiceover very innovatively, I find it
Mm-hmm.
an automatic thing I draw upon. So I find that easy to get
Mm-hmm.
into. Dark humor for me works better because I respond to it more.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but those, I think the ideal film doesn't have to rely on stuff that I like also, right? Like it has to from its own pull me in its own world emotionally. I think like in any sense. And by emotionally, I mean it doesn't have to make me cry. By emotionally, I mean it can make me angry,
Think.
even sad. Yeah, that's
Okay.
actually fantastic in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, it can make you think, and that's two sides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the very weird thing. If a film can emotionally make you think, which sounds like a
Mm-hmm.
contradiction, that is what I think is the ideal film. Like it's a combination of two things.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Okay.
doesn't
Okay.
mean, yeah, or thinking emotionally or emotionally can make you think. I don't know, it sounds very like
Yeah.
pretentious, but like
No, no,
it
no.
kind of
It's
is
it's
the
not
way it
really
works.
pretentious. I think it makes kind of sense because when you say emotionally, I think when like a certain emotion affects you in a
Yeah,
certain way, when you see a character being suppressed by like a bigger persona, let's
yeah,
let's say a villain in a case,
yeah.
you always feel anger,
Ek villain.
yeah, or yeah, okay, एक villain. Okay. I You could have given a better example, in a Sunny Deol film, a common man is being, suppressed by Amrish Puri, his villainous character. But never mind. My point being, I think
Yeah,
if you feel a certain emotion towards any character, I think
yeah.
and I think emotionally, I think the thinking, I think, is a post effect, right?
I
Maybe
think
you
so.
don't
That's
do
the
that.
best.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
best way of generally see the and this is a kind of a film theory digression almost a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but like
Mm-hmm.
is this element of I will always remember a film first and foremost because it made me feel something and then made
Mm-hmm.
me think. So for me, I know it's not the same for everyone, and I think a lot of people who are studying cinema and who are into sort of,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
international cinema especially have a propensity to really like thinking about cinema.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, that's important, but it comes secondary to emotional or emotional connect.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have a connect and if I am and I can give you examples. So basically, Nope,
Mm-hmm.
for example, to me never
Mm-hmm.
worked on an emotional level, which is why
I think I agreed with you
yeah, which
on
is
this
why it'll
point. Yeah, yeah.
always be something I admire much more than I kind of always say
Love.
a cite as an example. Also,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff you cite as an example as an ideal film, I think has worked definitely on some emotional level for you, which
Mm-hmm.
is why the intellect uh, comes through after that. Well, like I mean, there's been so many examples recently. Again, Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's the one that's
Yeah.
probably broken the barrier the most for a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
That's the
it's like
universally acclaimed
I
sort of.
don't know if you can like peak in any way in like in terms of just like a film working in isolation and working as like an emotional impact
Hmm.
both at the same time and like just
It's a,
peak.
it's
That's what I mean, like
hard. It's
peaked.
bloody hard.
It's
Like
very
I'm not.
hard. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
impossibly hard, which is why I think a lot of times, at least for me, I know my obsessions are a little bit more skewed towards art
Uh-huh.
house sometimes, but like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I respect the goddamn hell out of filmmakers, and I think South Korean filmmakers do that so well sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
ability to mix two forms, art cinema and mainstream cinema, and when you mix them that well, that is kind of the ideal film almost. It's a universal film, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also deeply personal. It's like again, you know, the idea of communicating something so personal that it then becomes universal. Again, sounds like a contradiction, but that's what best of I think ideal cinema kind of works
Mm-hmm.
at getting at contradictory or being able to communicate contradictory emotions in a way which is genuinely thrilling. If that
But
makes
tell me one thing.
yeah,
What if the person who's asking the question means the ideal film in a different? Before I go on to explain
yeah, yeah,
my end of thought,
yeah.
uh, what if that person means an ideal film which works not just like I think the percentage of the audience for which that film works for.
Okay. So
I mean,
you're
what
basically
I'm
judging
trying
by
to ask.
taste, but judging by how many people like it, sort of like that, or what's its
Yeah, I
reach?
mean, I'm exactly the reach could also be
A metric
a
to judge an ideal
factor,
film?
a kind of a metric.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm not
can.
saying
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
No film can be
of
like
course.
liked
Yeah.
by everyone.
No,
Of
but
course,
that's why I
there are
think
going
our
to be like
example of Parasite makes sense. Like that, like I
sure,
don't
but
want to
there's
say it's the ideal film because then there's so many. I'm
no,
sure
no,
there'll be a
no,
lot of
no.
people who don't like it as much as maybe I do and Sanjeet does,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but like, uh, I think, see, this is always going to be a discussion. I think about the whole.
No, that's why this point came up in my
No,
head,
no,
and I
it's
was like,
a.
maybe that's something that one could also look at, maybe because the reach of any film, not just like one kind
Yeah,
of a
yeah, yeah.
certain
Of
type or
course.
whatever. I think the reach also matters in a way, how many
Yeah,
people actually end up watching. I mean, I see it from my perspective. I
yeah,
think There Will Be Blood is such a great sensibility of mixing a lot
yeah,
of. I mean, people don't may not have that kind of, but I think There Will
yeah,
Be Blood had the best reach amongst most PTA films. I
yeah,
know I'm taking like a PTA as not not an ideal example here.
PT is Paul Thomas Anderson, for who
Yeah,
actually
Paul Thomas
everyone knows
Anderson.
this. So
I'm
I'm
sorry.
like just yeah. I'm
No,
like
it's just like I
no, I'm treating it like we have an audience who doesn't know who PTA is, which
yes.
is not right. I'm pretty sure
No,
everyone knows.
but the audience who actually might not know is like Paul Thomas.
You mean the person
Thank
who
you for
sent
guiding us.
you mean the people who sent us all these questions?
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Who are you to assume things, huh?
Anyways,
No,
go
no, no.
ahead. What are you saying about There Will Be
No,
Blood, which I love, by the way.
my point being is just I think another metric that one could take into account is, I mean, ideal means like 100, right? Let's say
I mean,
100 out of
ideal
100.
is one of those words which is like you can
Have your
I
own perceptions.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that way for me, I think my tastes and my choices have changed a lot over
Hmm.
the years. I think
Yeah.
the way how I viewed films, how I liked films, and how I
Yeah.
perceived certain cinemas
Yeah.
has changed over the years
Of
massively.
course. I think that's a
Uh,
ever-changing
you
thing
have
also.
to
Yeah.
evolve. I think you have
Yeah.
to like kind of always keep thinking,
Yeah.
because a certain set of cinema which you didn't like 7 years back, or I'm saying like too specifically 7 years back, maybe
Hmm.
like 10 years back or something,
Yeah.
it's very different now. The cinema is different. Even if the
It's
cinema is the same,
yeah.
your perception towards the cinema has changed, right? Because now you maybe understand the context better.
Yeah, and then there's
Correct.
like, I mean, there's another example of this whole small town social message film, right? Which used to be like a
The
novelty before,
dramedy, yeah,
which used
yeah,
to be a
yeah.
novelty at one point, but
Now
now
it's the
it's
most
completely burned
mainstream.
off. So
Yeah.
exactly. So that will also change what the ideal, like maybe a film like that at a moment where you weren't getting this many films became the ideal film, right?
Mhm.
And then, but again, I feel the ideal film will not be constricted by time. Also, I feel in a weird way, like time
Like
patterns
the
won't
timeless.
it'll have some element of timelessness, of course.
Mhm.
It will be defined by its time, and it'll be defined by what came before and after and all that,
The
but
context of the
like I
yeah.
would like again sorry to be again and again talking about Parasite, but like that's the first film that comes to my mind when we talk
Hmm.
about this right now. But like I can imagine that film being seen 50 years from now and not losing its effectiveness. Uh,
Hmm.
like that's just my perception. I'm sure it might. Who knows? Like again,
What
in that sense,
what other film do you think apart from Parasite could also,
There Will
I
Be
mean,
Blood.
still holds
I
up
mean,
50
there
years from
also.
now?
I feel a lot
Like let's say if anything from the 70s, do you think?
like from whatever I've watched from like before that holds up like that way. You're talking
Mm-hmm.
about? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of 70s cinema holds up now, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you for an example. I think I would have said like a
That's it,
conversation.
right?
Godfather, I think
Conversation,
holds up. I think 70
Godfather, yeah.
American 70s holds up
But that's
fairly
also,
well, I think.
but then again, it's like this is like a maze kind of, you can't get lost in it. But like
For sure.
70 cinema ka allure will definitely be there now because the freedom that was there to make those films in 70s is absolutely not there now. Or at least you don't see films like that, right now.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
uska
yeah.
allure will be even more, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then right now, I remember this new movie with Julia Roberts and George Clooney is out, Ticket to Paradise, I
Mm-hmm.
think, right?
Ticket to Paradise,
And there
correct.
is, I mean, this is from my perspective, there's a little bit of me who actually wants to go and see it just because you don't see romantic comedies like that often now.
Anymore. That's
You
true.
get automatically kind of branches off in that way. Like the
That way,
more
I think it's the whole RRF. Have you like indulged in like reading more about RRR, the whole thing which is like taken over US, right?
in US, right? The whole how
Yeah,
it's
not its impact
hmm,
anywhere else, but the US
yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
It's
yeah, because
because
it's the whole fatigue
how they,
from
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. The whole craving for that kind of cinema, right? I
yeah,
mean, I liked it for my own reasons. I think I liked
yeah.
RRR. I like RRR quite a lot. I think
Same.
I like it for my own reasons, not for
Yeah,
like the reasons you Americans like it for. I
yeah.
think I have my own. But if I speak more about um, ideal film for me personally, I think now is more to do with just experience.
Hmm.
How
Emotionality.
how yeah,
Hmm.
true. I mean, what
Hmm.
you said is kind of makes sense for me too. I think I
Hmm.
would take those points. Apart from that, just the overall impact of that film on me
Yeah.
and the whole not just emotional resonance, but like sensory,
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
Like
Got
when
it.
I saw Nope, again I'm
Hmm.
taking Nope as an example because I think
Hmm.
we discussed it fairly
Yeah.
well. I think I could call it like a very, very. It's a very well made film, right?
Hmm.
There's no debate about that.
Hmm.
It's the whole emotional thing. But I think as like a sensory experience, like the
Hmm.
visual, audio, visual.
Hmm.
I'm not talking about like 4DX or like 3D.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just talking about pure
Yeah.
cinema, like
Hmm.
just like working pure. Like I could say that about Dune as well. I mean, I
Okay.
know you have your own reservations about it, but I
Hmm.
know you don't hate it, or you would like
No, of course. Yeah. Yeah.
demerits its the stuff that it did well. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Of course. I mean, like if you're going for the whole sensorial thing, then like 2001 is the ideal example almost. Yeah.
that's like the
Ultimate
epitome.
sensorial. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the epitome. I think everyone else has just like uh, tried to achieve something closer to that. I think
Yeah.
Nolan always keeps on like
No, I was about to
going
say
back to
Nolan
that.
only. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dunkirk gets close to it almost.
Dunkirk
Mm.
is, I
Yeah.
think, almost there. I think I would say.
Yeah.
I think maybe 10 years down the line, it would be like
I
up
think that
there.
movie will
Yeah,
have a lasting legacy, sort of
for
like that.
sure, for
Just
sure.
because I think it's so, again, image. I mean, this is going again film theory, but like film as film, kind of almost like
Mm-hmm.
that. You can't write it. You have to
Mm-hmm.
show it. Again, your spectacle almost. This element of, if it's on the page, how much can
Yeah.
your imagination actually be able to comprehend what they are showing there? And it's
Yeah.
like the only thing that can be
Mm-hmm.
shown on the big screen is. And I feel, I know that people don't like that perspective sometimes, that a film needs to show off
Mm-hmm.
that it's a film, but I
I
feel.
mean, I think why also people say it because they also get, a lot of information via media,
Hmm,
which kind of pollutes their way of thinking.
hmm.
That's what I feel. I mean, continue. I think I interrupted you in the middle of a sentence,
No,
but
no, this only. I mean, I was just no, no. It's an interesting point about the whole how media can also.
I mean, I think
I
we
mean,
consume a lot of media in
yeah,
general, right? In
yeah,
like different forms now.
yeah,
I think more
yeah,
so than ever, I think.
yeah.
And I think that kind of even the information that gets to you about a film, let's say
Hmm,
for an example, that is also kind of like diluted by the time it reaches you.
of
It
course.
gets too saturated by the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
it comes
hundred
to you.
percent, 100%.
And
Yeah,
I think I'm not going to blame this,
yeah,
but I think films that focus way too much on the behind the scenes and to lure you into something, I think that's not the right way to do it because I think you
yeah.
lose the whole charm of understanding.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, this was done like this way, this was done because you have to sometimes be in awe of how this was done.
Yeah.
I think maybe post watching that could be
I
an
think
exercise for a lot of people.
that's always the
But
approach I take, at least. Like, try to go in as little
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
you know, and then go.
Yeah, I think the lesser the information, I think sometimes your experiences are way better.
It's personal also, no? It's your experience of it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think
Yeah.
what happens is, like, let's say for example, I think we've deviated way far
No,
from the
see,
topic. I think
this is why the
no.
question is good though, no? Like, I think it has the ability to sort of circulate around. If we are actually on that topic only, on ideal
Okay,
film,
okay, okay.
I think.
Okay, so let me continue with that whole point. I think from there we can just like I think get into Triangle of Sadness because I
Yeah,
think
and how
that
that's not the ideal film for me. Yeah.
no. I'll tell you the point which I'm gonna speak about. My
Okay.
God, so much salt. Very salty. No, what I was gonna say was
Yeah.
no, like how trailers are being
Yeah.
like the face of every film now, right?
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Yeah.
Even like the a bigger director's name on the poster also isn't that big of a deal anymore
Yeah.
than the trailer, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of I think I chose this approach in like maybe around 2017, I think,
Mhm.
when I stopped watching the trailers more or less. Like very rarely I would actually make an effort to watch
I
a
mean,
trailer.
Chris Nolan films are good trailers because they are teasers, basically.
For
I feel.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I watched
And
the
they are actually
Oppenheimer teaser on IMAX and I was like, wow.
I mean, I
I'm
think because he is pretty involved in cutting them, so
Yeah,
he's
he
like
is.
very
Yeah.
specific
Even Nope, I think,
to
or Jordan Peele did that with it at least.
yes,
So, yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
for sure. I watched no trailer. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, but it holds back very well. Like, it holds back.
Very well. Yeah.
Yeah.
My point being, when you watch a trailer, it somehow, if the film has like the kind of storyline, let's say Triangle of Sadness has, if you
Yeah.
watch the trailer, you know that's what's going to happen.
Everything. Yeah. You basically know everything.
And
Yeah.
I didn't know
Actually,
what
you
is there
don't.
in the
To be
film
to give credit to the trailer people, you don't know everything. You know a
about
fair
from the
bit.
trailer.
You don't know everything. You know one thing actually, maybe.
Okay.
So
I
just to
mean,
give credit
if
to the to
I
those
had
people.
no idea what the film was about, I
Yeah.
had no idea how, like, I knew
Yeah.
Ruben Östlund made it, won at Cannes,
Yeah.
big things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I knew is it's a satire. I didn't even know what the satire was even about.
Yeah.
So that way it was a very different experience for me. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens with a lot of other films, but I'm
Yeah.
just talking about Triangle because it
Hmm.
happened very recently. I was completely unaware about what the film was about,
Yeah.
and I saw the poster, so I had some idea, it's
Yeah.
some ship. So maybe it's
Yeah.
going to be part of the narrative. But what happens in the film, the
Mhm.
way it's like presented, I would say, to me was very surprising.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, the style
Yeah.
per
Yeah. Yeah.
se.
No, no, I was surprised by a couple of choices also. Like I see the one of the and this is going to be always uh a thing that will, like, I think, bother or like
Mm-hmm.
become a see whenever you watch something that's from a filmmaker who you've not seen anything from,
Yeah.
there's a different experience, I think, in that, because you are going in absolutely cold, right? You don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah. For sure.
anything, and that's the
Yeah.
purest, I guess, your experience can be. But like, so my experience with Triangle
Mm-hmm.
of Sadness can't be that, because I had seen his other work also, and of
Okay.
course then
Okay.
whatever you know about the Cannes thing, I knew about that. So again, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like when you're responding to a film, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you're
Mm-hmm.
not directly even responding to the film. You're responding to so many other things about
For
the
sure.
film. As you said about trailer is one.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you watch
Yeah.
it. Reviews, I mean, there's so many reviews nowadays that are
Mm-hmm.
not really a review of the film, but a response to a review of a film. Do you get what I mean? Like basically,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it
like,
makes kind of sense because some of the stuff that you read is like, why are they saying bad about it? And
yes.
then you write your own take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much is
I
it
mean,
tarnished by that itself, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Because I think read sometimes I don't read reviews at all before
Yeah.
I write my own, thoughts
Thoughts, yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I think it tarnishes your perspective completely. And I think
Mm.
that also takes away from the fact that you actually go to cinema to enjoy films. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
why
Of
would
course.
you wouldn't want to force yourself or pay for anything to,
Yeah.
get tortured by. I mean, if people have like sadistic pleasures, that's a different thing.
We have been tortured, Sanjeet, this year. Or at least
Yeah.
I have.
What you
Uh,
watch Brahmastra? I didn't watch.
you will watch, though eventually you'll get to it. So
Only to listen to that episode. Never mind.
fair enough.
Coming back to it, so no, I think it's also because like how much it's like impossible to be completely have like a slate completely like
Yeah.
blank and
Unless
go
you're
and
at a
watch a
film
film.
festival and you're watching someone's first film
Uh,
for the first time in the first screening. Like it's that
for sure,
that level of
for
thing.
sure,
So
for
which
sure.
is almost impossible. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I think there are always these variables that keep on like playing, to the fact that you'll have your own personal perspective towards
Hmm.
things for sure, but it's like how pure you can make your own experience to the film. I
Yeah.
think is what determines your liking towards the film as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's you if you can. I think if you can express your feeling towards a film,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
know it sounds easy.
It's
If you
not.
can
Yeah,
express
yeah,
it
yeah,
very well, that
yeah.
I think is the key almost in actually articulating what you're trying to say. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when you, especially when you like something, when you like your sort of ideal film, right? It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah, yeah.
describe because there's so many things
That
that
has
you like
happened quite
about
a lot.
it.
I think when you
Yeah.
don't like something, it's easier to write about
Much
them as well.
easier, much
Because
easier.
okay, this went wrong. Okay,
Are
this went
half
wrong.
the
The
time,
structure is
no,
off.
because because while watching only you're like, oh, this. At least for
Yeah,
me, I'm like, oh, this
yeah,
isn't
yeah, yeah.
working, that's not working, this is not working. Why is that
Yeah.
shot like that? Why is this placement here or whatever? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and now to just nicely bring it all together, Triangle of Sadness. There was a lot of that thinking going on for me in that movie. which it
How
wasn't
many
for you.
triangles did you notice?
I didn't notice triangle actually, you know.
It was a
There was only one
bowl
triangle
of
in the beginning,
nachos.
right? Which is done very overtly and funny actually. That scene I quite enjoy. The
I
prologue of the
enjoyed a
film.
lot of the film. I enjoyed a lot of the film.
So that is your
But like,
that is our initial thoughts, I suppose.
yeah. More or
Right.
less, more or less.
Yeah.
No, but I think before, just like my last point would be, I
Yeah.
think what has also changed the way I've seen cinema is, I think I've stopped over analyzing films.
मेरा
Uh,
उल्टा है.
I mean, I think if a film interests me,
Yeah.
I think that film is gonna stay with me.
Yeah.
And then I think the thinking is gonna happen, but it's not like an immediate exercise of just like overthinking it.
Yeah.
Like, I think
You don't want
overthinking
to
also kind of,
decode a film, right? You don't want to decode it.
I don't want to. I
You
want to
want the
enjoy it
feeling
first.
to sort of just get
Absolutely.
to.
And
Yeah,
then then
understood.
then if it like lingers on, I think
Of course.
then it's the film's merit, I think. Even if it's something which is not great also, I think then it's like
Yeah.
interesting. Because I don't think so it makes sense to just like put things in binary. This is great, this is
Of
good, this is
course.
bad.
Yeah.
I think it's great if you like look sometimes in the gray area and maybe like ponder why this is also bad. I think that also makes up
It's
for a
always
great
about the why,
thinking
yaar.
exercise.
It's always about the why.
Yeah. I think
Never about the
that
what.
started with like,
Yeah.
you remember we discussed this in like why Shershah didn't work,
Yeah.
and we never recorded it like immediately. Like we recorded, I think after like a week and a half
After you
after.
got a comment, yes.
Yeah. Don't bring my trauma into all of this.
I mean, I got to watch Laksh, so I'm grateful for
Yeah,
that
you
experience.
watched Laksh,
So
which
yeah,
is one of
yeah,
my all-time favorites.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's more or less what I
Our
would
ideal
say. I think
film, yeah,
yeah. 25 minutes of just talking about ideal film.
yeah. But to be that's
And now
less
we talk
actually.
about an almost ideal film.
No, it's a
No, but I
obtuse
think
triangle. It's
one
not an
second, before we go
equilateral.
on ahead, but before we go ahead, you were so predictable now. I knew what you were going to rate. You're so
See,
predictable. No,
I
but
no, but
I think I'll
no,
tell you
you
one
did.
more thing.
You weren't. Let's be clear. I rated it
Why not?
half more because I admired a couple of choices, but I was on the lower side of what you predicted I would rate it. So,
It's not bad. I
not
was close,
that
I'd say.
predictable. Okay,
Please don't take away my
you didn't
merit.
predict I'd hate Brahmastra. Okay, because everyone thinks I'm
Because
like
I
a
didn't.
dharma dude who likes everything
Why
made
would
by
I
dharma.
even bother predicting that? Like
Okay.
you, what do you think about
Yeah,
that film?
but that basically means you know me, which is a good thing if you can predict someone else's choice, I guess, which is fine.
Yeah, but I
I
think
mean,
you fairly know which films I end up liking, also more or
yeah,
less.
I made that exact comparison also when you liked EAAO, that you liked it because
Yeah,
it was like
absolutely.
super deluxe. So yes, see.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Yeah.
predictable. You just know me. You can phrase it like that, Sanjay. It's fine.
Don't take that away from me, please. You're predictable.
Okay, fine. Tell
So
me what you
okay,
liked
coming
about
to
Triangle of Sadness, Sanjay. Directed by Ruben Östlund, his first English
Ruben
language film.
Östlund, first English language. He made what? Force Majeure and
He's
The
made
Square. Did
Force
he make
Majeure,
something?
Swedish filmmaker. He's made Force Majeure, which played at Cannes out of competition. He's
Mm-hmm.
made Play, which also played at
Mm-hmm.
Cannes out of competition, which I haven't seen. And he made The Square, which played at Cannes and won the Palme d'Or also. So
I've
this,
heard interesting things about Play. I don't know if
I
you.
like Play. Sorry, I've not seen Play, but I'm actually interested in seeing that movie. I love Force Majeure. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of The Square, and I'm not the biggest fan of Triangle of Sadness also. So I feel the more his films have expanded in a way, like they've gone to
Mm-hmm.
bigger spaces. Their geography has
Mm-hmm.
become bigger, and like they've become about multiple characters and multiple situations. The less I've sort
Mm-hmm.
of gravitated towards his work. Like the more contained, the more personal, almost. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
getting so we'll go spoilers basically, but in initial thoughts, I think
I
Sanjeev.
mean, one second. I don't think so. There are going to be any spoilers.
I think there are big spoilers.
I don't think so. There's like
I think
anything
if you do,
spoilery about
I
the
think
film. I think you
the
watch this
structure
and
is a
I think it's an
spoiler. I feel.
experience.
I think the
I
structure is a
think
spoiler.
I think the film is an experience. I think if you want to sit and experience a certain style of comedy, and if you like the style of comedy, I don't think so anything that happens in the plot is going to be will mar your
Okay.
experience with the film. That's what I feel.
No, but that's I think it goes back to the whole ideal film thing where you were enjoying the experience and I was very much. If I had a
Huh.
pen and paper, I could have
Made
sit
notes.
down there and made a lot of notes and been like, I'm enjoying making those notes because I
Or
was
drawn a
taking in a
scenery with a
lot of.
house, sun, mountains
Uh,
in the background, birds
no,
flying.
no, I would have noted the exact moment where the film turns into a Priyadarshan comedy, or like a exact moment where
Which was one of the funniest bits in the film for
I
me.
disagree. But
You can disagree all you want. It's fine.
it's got a the good thing about this is that I'm actually not alone in this because a lot of people it's got a very mixed
Yeah,
reception.
yeah, yeah. No,
So
that's true.
yeah.
Because I was actually surprised when I saw the reception, and I think I liked it more than my friends also. It's not
Hmm.
just like you or I think I am alone in this liking this film quite a lot.
No,
I
I
mean,
think
and
it's
I
got
think
a
and
like a good part, like it's got a good mix, which is always a good sign for a film. I feel like to
I
get a
think
good
I
reception.
also accept that my liking for the film is also reduced over time. I think I
Hmm.
don't like it as much as I did immediately after watching because I think
Yeah,
I was too
buzzing about it,
I wouldn't say,
like just
yeah,
like into
buzzing about
the
buzzing is the right word.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I was buzzing about it right after I watched because I was like, oh shit, this was so fun and I
Hmm.
enjoyed so much, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think
What is
this
the film
kind.
about, Sanjeet? Can we should
Okay,
we
okay,
start with
okay,
that?
okay. So yeah. Okay, the film,
Yeah.
as
This
the
is
Google
30 minutes
states,
into the episode. I feel we are saying what is the film about. But we
a
also promised
cruise.
the Q&A. So, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a cruise for the super rich sinks, leaving survivors, including a fashion model celebrity couple, trapped on an island. Which I
Oh,
don't.
wow.
I think
That's
so is
the
very
that's the
misleading.
plot synopsis. That's a very interesting plot synopsis. So, see, it is a spoiler, okay, I feel. So, just for people who want to go in completely cold or completely whatever, make some pun, I don't know. Uh, like they if,
Listen
the
to this
fun.
episode later.
Yes, basically. Sanjeev
Yeah.
recommends it. Even I recommend it, but I recommend it in a very like notes leke बैठना types way, where it's like I don't think it's an
Homework.
experience. It's homework.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Okay, I wouldn't say that. I
it's
think it's a
homework with
fairly
some
good
funny
experience.
bits. I feel and a good structure, which I will discuss because I like this. I like structure and like I like interesting structures in film at least. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, but
Okay.
what you're saying kind of says that this is a film about two characters, which it's not, firstly.
Which
It's
it's
not
not, which is
exactly.
surprising because because it
You
like
said
goes
there's no
from places.
spoilers.
I mean, it's not really a spoiler, yeah. I
It is
don't
a
think so.
spoiler, no? We just talked about how it influences how we change, like talk about film,
Huh,
and
but
it's
I am
not
not.
an spoiler.
I don't think so. People would listen to it before watching the film anyway. We are doing this for posterity anyway, right?
You know that
I
no one's going to listen to it. Just we are doing it to get like
I
talk
I think people will listen to it who are not from
after.
India and have watched the film.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair. I mean, the film is gonna might become big during Oscars, so you never know. Might become big in
Actually,
the
it
sense
might.
that like writing and like direction, not in terms of other stuff. Like performances won't get nominated, I think. Uh,
Um,
okay, so fine, we disagree there also. Okay.
no. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think so. I agree. I think the screenplay would be the big thing going
Yeah,
up there. I
yeah,
think
it's not gonna win,
then
so it's fine because there's another movie
because
which is
what because of what you watch Banshees because you.
yes, yes, basically, it's not gonna win. Sorry. Uh,
Okay. No.
Anyways.
I would champion for anything good. I mean, if it's
No, I'm
good, should
kidding.
win.
If it will like let's see what how the nomination stuff is going in. But whatever, my point being that it might blow up during the
Yeah.
award season.
Okay.
Anyways,
What did you think? Initial thoughts, like 5 lines. Just say it.
5 lines. Have I
Okay,
written
five
five
points. Bullet
lines?
points. Bullet points.
Okay, so this was my first bullet. Actually, I've written 3 bullet points, which is no bad. Does the Cannes jury and audience just relate to this type of comedy more than most people? Question mark. That was my
Oh
first
my
bullet point.
god. Oh my
Second
god.
bullet point, quote unquote, eat the rich narratives need somewhat of an outsider's POV, mildly sympathetic characters, or just a mysterious plot slash underlying tension to keep me engaged. This
Oh my
is
god.
too contemptible, too willing to see the rich people as game board pieces to move around and laugh at, to strike me
That's
as
correct.
anything other than farcical. which would be fine. This is third bullet point. If I found the shabbiness fascinating. Then fourth bullet
Mm-hmm.
point, which I will get into later. So you told me to do bullet points, okay? The primary
I said
things
five.
then it'll go on long, huh? Then I've written a lot of bullet points.
Just say five.
Okay. Okay. The primary things I'm fascinated by are bullet point number 4, structure and
Sub bullet point.
sub bullet point, structure and implications on gender, class, political roles. Because this is what I was
Uh,
thinking about while the film is going on. And sub
mm-hmm.
bullet point number 2, there's a moment in the film where it feels like this film is not going to be shot the way it is, and it's going to loosen up in terms of its
Mm-hmm.
form. That is my final bullet point, I suppose.
Mm.
So those were my bullet points. If you want a normal person's answer, my initial thoughts would be um
But
another
you're not
Eat the
normal.
Rich film. Ah, okay, fine.
Mm.
Abnormal person's thought in a more less pretentious way, I guess, would be another Eat the Rich narrative.
Mm-hmm.
What
That's it.
am I supposed to do? Like, I guess I see. The weird thing is, I'm a little tired, or maybe again, little jaded
How?
by the Eat the
Why?
Rich stuff. Just because, like, it's just when it doesn't have tension, and firstly, because Eat the Rich narratives a lot of times aren't don't care about anyone. Like, they're just like there to like critique, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
this film is in large part is basically that, which is fine. But like,
Mm-hmm.
I just have like I'm like, but then this film isn't tense enough, I feel. Also, like, there's nothing underpinning the tension throughout a
Mm-hmm.
large portion. It's like I don't want to say it's a skit, but even if it's a skit, it's a very well orchestrated skit at times.
I get
uh
you. I think what you mean by skit.
I mean,
I
see,
get it. I get it.
this is going to be like a Parasite mention episode, but Parasite is like the ideal Eat the Rich narrative for me, almost, like,
Yeah.
because
If you haven't, if you don't know about it, you can go and listen to that episode also.
good. But and we've
Great
talked a lot
episode.
about
Great
that.
episode. Yeah,
Talked a
yeah, yeah.
lot about that, and no, but even, I mean, I like Succession quite a lot, but like, I'm also a bit
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm at a point with the series where I'm like, can I please just have one person who's semi-normal, or like semi-care worthy, like genuinely care worthy, which I
But I think
feel.
that's not the objective of the show only, no, at all. What are you going to
I
do about
know.
it
No,
then?
no. So that's what I'm saying. So it's very much, I'm becoming jaded of I saw this trailer for The Menu by Mark
Uh-huh.
Mylord. I think he's one
Yeah,
of the
it's
Succession
produced by
writers and
Succession
produced
director.
by,
He directed.
and like, from Eat
Produced
the
by your
Rich
favorite
to,
Adam McKay.
uh, I don't actually hate him. So okay, fine.
Okay.
So this is from going actually, nice point to bring him up, because at points this reminded me a little bit of Don't Look Up, just in the unsubtlety of how its critique is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, my point is, I saw the Menu trailer, which made me think. This is my the moment I think I'm funny, but when I say it out loud now, no one thinks it is. From Eat the Rich narratives to Eating with the Rich narratives. Okay.
I'm barfing. I'm barfing it out. Very funny. I
Sanjeet,
really think you should try stand up once again.
I don't think so.
Huh? Why?
No, no.
I'm
Anyway,
commending you. It's a
no,
commendable effort, sir.
very, very.
Commendable effort.
It's as your sarcasm is as subtle as Triangle of Sadness.
I wish I was being sarcastic.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, Sanjeev. What did you like? Initial thoughts, 5 bullet points,
Uh,
and then initial actual
no,
thoughts.
it's not what I liked. Okay, I first points which I found things which I found interesting, fascinating in the film.
Hmm.
So I didn't know what the film was really about, but
Yep.
like, okay, um, I didn't expect it to be like an awkward comedy
Hmm.
kind of film.
Yep.
Very situational, very
Yep.
situational.
It's divided into
Uh,
chapters, just to clarify to people.
chapters. Very.
3 chapters.
It takes a certain space and then uses
Yep.
it to its advantage.
Yep.
Puts the characters in situations where where you could also expect yourself to be at some point. I'm talking the initial.
The
Uh,
first one, the first,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is arguably
Bill.
the best way to, which is based on two of the characters. This is the two
Yeah.
that the plot mentions are the main people,
Yes.
Carl
Yes.
and Yaya.
I
which
also
is all
liked
about gender roles, right? Basically, how the
how it
whole
went
communication
from
is that. Sorry, the first
yes,
section.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I liked how it went from character to character.
yeah,
And I'm only mentioning like just like on the surface.
yeah.
There were instances in the last act,
Mm.
uh, I could say in like the third quarter of the film,
The island. That's what
yeah,
it's called. Yeah.
which for me dipped a bit, but I
Mm.
think that's a curious case of overwriting a
Okay.
film
Mm. Yeah, I
because
mean
you're trying to,
yeah, but this
extra
film could
justify
end.
something.
This film could end at chapter 2 also, if
A
it
hundred
wanted to.
percent
Yeah.
agreement. In 100% agreement with that.
But I would say that that would be a weaker thing actually in a way. So
I mean, it won't be a bookend. That's something I would say.
yeah.
It's not a bookend. That is why it's you feel it that way. I mean, it's
I
not a
mean, it
strong
could
word.
end though very much. Like it feels like a
Also,
ending in a sense.
I do
Yeah.
like how it ends, though. I do like it
I
how it ends.
also don't mind how it ends actually. I
I
like
really
the
like how it
semi
ended.
ambiguity of the end. I like
Yeah,
semi.
I mean,
I
more than ambiguity, the way it leads up to that point is also something very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I
I
mean, there's
agree.
this whole thing
I
happening,
agree.
right?
It's about
Between
there's
power
one point
dynamics.
there's one point in the first but see this is my issue with the film, and also I'm praising the ending, but like I'm also saying this is the
Mm-hmm.
point. There's a point in the
Contradictory.
first chapter of the film
Mm-hmm.
where Carl and Yaya are in a taxi, and it's a very well shot sequence also, right? It's like the
Mm-hmm.
whole it's follow, and you'll get to this, I'm sure, about the extra element in a scene
Yeah, which
which
I've
you really
already
like.
spoken to you about. Yeah.
Yeah, this whole idea that the windshield is another character within the
Mm-hmm.
comedic element of
Yes.
the scene. So it's
Yes.
not like
Yes.
your traditional average sort of American comedy, which is like
Talking. Yes.
short reverse short, which
Yes.
also doesn't have any geography,
No.
like in the American studio comedy, right? Whereas in
Mm-hmm.
here, it's very deliberately staged.
Yes.
And I think one of the moments in the taxi ride is where it's like to win one of the cab driver while he's getting out of the taxi is like to win her over, you'll have to be a hero. And I was like, that seems like a line that will definitely have some resonance later on in the film. And I feel the last
Mm-hmm.
shot of the film has that resonance, except
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he is
Yeah. Yeah.
not the
Yeah.
hero.
He's not the
He's too
hero.
late.
It's too
Uh,
late.
yeah, yeah.
I also liked how everything was actually a triangle. Like if you see,
Hmm.
everything kind of works in a triangle. Every situation works as a triangle.
Oh, is it? Okay. So I didn't notice. But what about the situation where they're sitting? No, that's the immediate thing that I thought about. Where, what about the
Mm-hmm.
situation where they're sitting with the obnoxiously obvious and really like this is the type of thing I would find fun. I would find funny if I hadn't seen any of the Eat the Rich narrative things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the couple.
The Russian guy
No, the Russian guy. I actually didn't mind him.
and the widow.
The grenade manufacturers who are basically like
Mm-hmm.
they are unhappy because they can't sell their stuff that much anymore. Where I was like like he tries to build up to a point where it's a reveal that they are actually grenade manufacturers, and like about the first time we see these people, I was like, weapons weapons manufacturers. These guys are gonna be 100%. So where is the triangle there? Aren't there like two groups? Like isn't it like between two and two? And I don't know.
I
Like
actually can't really recall that aspect that well.
this is when she's
I'm
eating
sorry.
that pasta, like pretending to eat pasta.
No, no. Oh, okay, that scene. Okay. I think there the triangle is probably between them and the girl, right? If I'm not wrong, the guy isn't involved in there, right? Or is
He's
he? Or
in
is
the
he?
short. That's what I was
Okay, then
thinking. So I
I'm
don't know.
probably wrong about it because
Okay.
whenever I
Like you
think
would
back about the
know
film,
more. That's why I'm to just asking because you had
no, no,
mentioned. I
no,
didn't know.
no, no, because I think everything worked as a triangle. Like, okay,
Okay.
let's say for example, when they are having food at the
Hmm.
dinner, the first act,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
it's them and the bill
And the
as a
wait.
triangle,
Hmm. Got it. Yeah.
them and the waiter,
Yeah.
them
No, as
and the
in
cab driver,
I'm sure
them
there's a
and the lift,
yeah.
them and the hotel room,
Mm.
and when they go after that to the ship
Yeah,
on the
that's
yacht,
actually yeah, you're
it's
making it
them
now. Mm-hmm. I can see what you're
on
getting at. Yeah.
and the Russian guy with his two wives, the lonely guy with his and when you see that lonely guy, the two women and the lonely guy, the two men and the lonely guy,
Yeah.
when they're like kind of making fun of him.
Yeah.
So there were like so many triangles like this, like the love triangle between
Yeah,
Abigail.
of course. Yeah. This is
What
the
was
third act. Yeah.
the third act?
Yeah.
The Filipino worker who
Yeah.
becomes the big boss. It's
Yeah.
her and the two guys.
Yeah.
It's so it's always like in a triangle. So which
Got
always
it.
like
Got it.
very fascinating. I mean, it is deliberate, but it is
Yeah.
nice how well
Yeah.
it's like written.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
made
I'm
me appreciate something more. I didn't maybe I was noting other stuff then when you were noting the triangles. But yeah, it makes
no,
sense. It makes sense.
I think that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
It's not shabby. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
chaotic. It has its
Oh
own
yeah, yeah,
sense of
100%. Yeah, yeah.
very clean way of doing something. And I don't know if it's like a thing,
It's
but it's
probably a
like
thing. Yeah, his aesthetic is always very, very
it's
like
like
his
slow
his.
comedy. I mean, it's going
Yeah,
slow. It's like very
yeah.
mm, and
I almost
I
think it's a problem though. Like for me, it is at least.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I could say I think it works for me very well, impeccably well how the puke
yeah,
sequence was designed.
yeah. And I think that's our major difference also. I
Eh,
think like
Yeah, for
in
sure.
what was yeah,
I mean, I'm leaving the comedy bits apart. I'm just
yeah.
talking purely the making of it. I
And
think it's so well done. Like you never lose out of sight any character. Every
yeah,
character remains there,
yeah.
and this serve for that one purpose of uh, it is slapstick comedy, but it's like very
Sophisticated
sophisticated
slapstick,
slapstick.
which is a
Yeah,
great way to put it. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's what I think. But you
yeah.
can tell, like, you can.
No, so I messaged you saying that for me, the problem with the sophisticated slapstick, especially in that scene, is that that scene is the one scene in the film where you are supposed to absolutely lose control, I feel. Or at least the film is
Mm-hmm.
going in a way, the ship is
Mm-hmm.
swaying. And a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
times, that's the only time in the film where the captain, who has very deliberate, and I'm not imposing any political beliefs or anything, but like in the film, he is a
Mm-hmm.
Marxist, right? He is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is like the film is very upfront about all this, which is fine, is not a
yeah,
problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw some very funny review where someone was like, someone said it's I guess it's for the best that now Godard is dead, because it feels like because Godard used to do this a little, or from whatever I know, is that
Mm-hmm.
his humor or ironic humor used to be very upfront. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's a point in his films, and one of his films, which I despise, dislike, whatever you want to say, where, the film basically deconstructs, or like basically becomes about almost nothing. And there's the point where, and I thought that was the point in the film where the ship
Mm.
is swaying. It's going
Yeah,
like that. You have rock music playing over them, puking and everything. There's
yeah.
an element of disorder, but it isn't
Mm-hmm.
chaotic enough, I felt. So it was a
I
little
thought
too
it was
controlled.
That's true, but I think it's interesting when you do something like this because you're expected, like how you expected it. Even I would have kind of expected it.
Hmm.
I'm not going to disagree on that, but that's
Hmm.
the whole point. We expected something to happen, but
No, no, no,
in
no. The fact that it's not,
it's very uh,
huh,
it's a bit different than what I know I didn't say anything.
yeah.
It's a bit different than how you expect things to be, and takes you on a different journey. I think
Hmm.
that for me was very fascinating because
Okay.
the expected. I'm saying expected, but like it's like you know what was supposed to happen, but it's not something that happens, and you go on a different
There,
journey.
no, no,
I
I
think,
totally
yeah.
understand that. I feel, again, the reason why I'm
Mm-hmm.
complaining about it is because I wasn't laughing as much as you were, and
Mm-hmm.
that sequence,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was like, and there is an implication, and because, again, I was saying that I was thinking about this film much more in terms of the how it's playing
Mm-hmm.
with gender roles, class roles, whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
I had to keep myself interested because I wasn't laughing as much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a long movie. I think most people will
Mm-hmm.
agree. Even you
Mm-hmm.
would agree, probably it's a long movie.
Surprisingly, very long. I 100% agree. That's why I said
Yeah,
overwritten. But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, but I was thinking at that point, maybe it's a commentary about the fact that you can never lose control completely. Maybe it's always a bit like, you said sophisticated slapstick, that order is always
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
maintained, which is, again, it's replicated in themes also when it goes to the island, where order becomes
Mm-hmm.
repeats itself almost in a way which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
I feel provocative, and we'll get
Mm-hmm.
to the island after this. But yeah, like again,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it more on the sort of thinking about it versus laughing. I don't know
No,
if
no.
on
But
yeah
but here's the thing. Here's what I also want to say. Like we're
hmm,
talking about how everything is designed, right? It's
yeah
like I went and checked the process of making of it, which like I always enjoy doing
yeah
that. And he storyboarded every shot,
hmm,
and it kind of makes sense that it's
yeah
too
yeah
specific. And what he's done with that is he's played that to his advantage
hmm,
by making it by adding certain small elements throughout, the film,
hmm,
and made it funnier. I mean, I
hmm,
don't know if people would notice it. I mean,
hmm,
I think people should notice it.
hmm,
But okay, let's say for in the beginning,
yeah
when they are having dinner,
yeah
right? There's If you listen to the music, like the
hmm.
whole, uh, like the music that plays in like hotels,
But
like
yeah
the
yes yes
simple,
yes, yes. Yeah
soft music.
yeah
Music changes at some point when he
yeah
like asks her,
oh, yeah
blah 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 blah.
about
Blah.
the
At some point,
bill
it
yeah
changes.
yeah 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 it's
It
like
changes.
comedic filmmaking,
Subtle
right? Like what yes
comedic filmmaking done very well.
yeah
It's like
yeah no it's
then
tuned like no one's I don't think uh as someone who even didn't laugh that much, I can appreciate the
uh-huh.
touches and I can appreciate his formal,
Yeah.
and that's rare. Comedy nowadays, unfortunately, is operates a lot on dialogue, like is in film, like it
Hmm.
doesn't have a
For
visual
sure.
form, right? So,
I mean,
I mean,
unless it's like an Edgar Wright or someone making it,
Edgar Wright, Wes
or
Anderson,
Wes
these
Anderson.
guys, or even Noah Baumbach for that
Yeah,
matter,
yeah, yeah.
and a lot of
Bomback.
people,
Yeah, yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
So a lot of people can play with it, but like your traditional
Yeah, yeah,
studio
yeah.
comedy, I've not seen Bros, but I've
Cohen's
heard it's
also.
one of the
That's right.
worst short films. Um, like
Bros.
Bros. It's the
Bros. It's like some homosexual
the first
comedy, something.
mainstream raunchy homosexual comedy. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
I've heard things about it.
yeah,
I don't know much about it though.
yeah,
But yeah, my point being like, okay, in later on
yeah.
in the car, like you mentioned it as when they're in
The
the car, when
windshield.
they're going back
Yeah,
home, the
yeah,
windshield,
yeah,
it's like it is adding something. It
yeah,
is
yeah,
like, and the cues are very on point.
yeah.
And the lift,
The lift is
it's
the
like
big yeah,
staged well. I think
yeah.
it's the staging also which matters. It's not just
But
like,
is it a problem though that you can
short
notice the
reverse shot.
staging? Like some
Sorry.
like because I wasn't laughing, maybe I was also like the staging sometimes is a little too apparent only. Like to me at least it was because I wasn't laughing that much.
Okay, okay.
You
I
know,
think
I was
I
like I
bought
can see the
maybe because I
mechanics of
bought into
this.
the style.
Huh,
That's
maybe.
true. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty mechanical. I won't
Huh.
disagree to it.
Yeah.
I think I was pretty invested in the
And
style,
yeah.
which kind of like pays off for
No,
me as a viewer. Then I think that's
and to be
the
to be
game.
fair to the film, the mechanical nature of the film is very much in tune with how it's depicting its characters. Like the characters are
Context.
mechanical.
Yes.
It fits.
Contextually, yes.
Like
Yes,
it
yes.
if you want to like talk about how if it's made with a purpose and made well, it is made well. I'm not denying that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel,
Mm-hmm.
but at 2 hours and 24 minutes with 20
24.
minutes of previews
It is
which
a
I
bit of a
watched,
stretch.
I was like, especially in the yacht
I
section, I was
100%
like,
agree.
I'm sorry, but please lose a little bit of the sophistication because I need to get into stuff. There's one scene I really
Mm-hmm.
liked on the yacht actually. And I thought
Mm-hmm.
that's the one scene, and maybe see, this is where you're talking about how you haven't seen any of the other Östlund films. And for me, it was like
Mm-hmm.
that was
Mm-hmm.
the one scene I was like, this is painful, uncomfortable, cringe comedy, which I respond to more. Whereas in other
Okay.
moments, it's a little too broad, it's a little too like without like his
Mhm.
force majeure is like watching someone pricking a needle into your arm like every
Mhm.
2 seconds, and like every shot
Mhm.
lasts a little longer, which even is there in this, but like
Yes.
but in that particular scene I was like, this is such a pathetic scene. And there's two scenes actually. One of them is like with the rich guy, the rich software dude guy, when he meets the two
Mhm.
women for the first time, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
he's being
Okay. Okay.
and he's being like totally like uh
Yeah. Yeah.
he's like, can
Yeah.
you take a photo with me? And I'm like, that's so like
Uh,
sad and pathetic. It's sad though.
I get it. I get it. I
It
get what you're
has that
saying. Yeah.
element of sadness to it, I feel, which
Yeah. Yeah.
triangle of sadness, of course.
Triangle of sadness.
Yes, but it has that additional element, like in terms of emotion, which I thought
Mm,
was, which pricked, rather than like, I was like, whatever,
mm.
this is fine. But
It's more like the person is rich and he's still yet
no,
sad and
yeah,
lonely and
but it was
yeah.
so like, it's short, like again, his traditional style suits it also. Like it was just like, it holds on to that shot and he's just asking, and I was like, this is so
Yeah. Yeah.
desperate and sad and pathetic. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
there's that one scene where the rich lady is telling the girl to go into the pool, and I was like, and he just
Oh shit.
holds on to her facial expression, and I was like,
Yes.
that is good. Like
That was too awkward. I think I
that
loved that scene. I
that was
love
the
that
sort of
scene.
that's the sort of thing I was like, okay, you're getting at something that's like incredibly like, and that's relatable almost in some situations. That like I've seen that happen to people, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is horrible. Just move someone, like someone remove someone from
Ah
that
shit.
scenario.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So that all was there, which I liked on
I
the yacht,
mean,
but largely I was a bit whatever. It's okay. And then the
mm,
island stuff comes on, which you said
yeah,
you
yeah.
had a little bit of a
No, I think so. When the yacht stuff ended, I think the way it led up to that point, I think was hilarious. I think I was enjoying that.
the bomb blows off and everything, right?
I loved it. I was like, okay, he went all the way and like just
Yeah,
like bombed it because I didn't
yeah.
know what was gonna happen. I didn't know they were gonna go on an
That
island.
that's what I was giving the trailer credit for, because they didn't
And one
reveal
more
any of
thing
the
was,
island
and
stuff.
I was surprised how they went from two characters to delving into different characters, and this like
Hmm.
it's like
I,
going
I
around with
no, I
characters,
get it.
flowing around.
I just thought the yacht characters themselves weren't that interesting. Like to me, at least, they weren't.
I think
Except for
that's not just
Carl,
you.
yeah.
There's
A
others
lot
also
of
who've
people
said the
also.
same.
Yeah, yeah.
The most interesting ones made it alive to the island actually. The most
Probably.
interesting ones,
Though
more or
his
less, more or
like
less.
there's one very not awkward element, but very very broad element of humor with the German character. I don't know how people in Germany responded to it, but where she can only speak, she's like meant. I don't know if it's made clear if she has some illness, but she only says one phrase.
Yes, yes.
Right?
I couldn't understand. I really didn't understand what really happened to it. I understood like bits of it, but it was very. I don't know. I didn't buy too much into her character as much
Yeah,
as
she was
anyone
supposed to be
did.
like the ill character who's helpless, disabled, and but like is can't
I
function
don't
on her
know.
own. So it's like a
It's very
commentary of
off.
richness and
No,
other
it's
things also.
I
And I was like,
don't
whatever.
know. I think it's very off. I think
Okay.
that character is completely off for me. I'm like, if she didn't exist, it wouldn't have made any difference.
They have that scene, no, on the island with her trying to buy off the
Also,
guy. Yeah.
I didn't understand like what really happened at that point. Like, I don't know if I missed any
I think
details there because
it's like she tries to sell herself or sell her body in terms of like getting help from him almost. It felt like that at least. Like he's there with
okay,
like Gucci bags, which makes sense because there's a flipping resort at that
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah,
He has like all the bags in his hands, and no, it's not. It's not made sure who he is actually. He's supposed to
yeah,
be
a
like it's
native
unsure native. I don't know, or maybe, but
or someone who works at the resort. I don't know.
they can't understand each other, and she tries to like
Mm-hmm.
impose herself physically, and she's like, oh, you can like take advantage of me, but then I want like
I don't
you to
know.
do
I
me a
think
favor.
that
It's
whole
very
aspect, her
yeah,
aspect is very off completely.
yeah.
I think.
I was like, I'm
I
interested
think
how like
so.
German people respond to this.
I don't know if they responded in any way. I don't. I
Okay.
never paid any heed to it.
Yeah.
But but like the shows have been like houseful here for
Yeah,
Triangle of
here
Sadness
also, but then
because
yeah,
I have always gotten tickets for any film that I've gone for here. Okay, never that has been a problem for me.
yeah.
This is the first time I went. Me and my friends reached at a cinema and it was
Mm.
full.
Good, no, but
Uh,
did people laugh? My cinema hall was full, but like it was
I
not
think that I
sparsely
could say
laugh.
for
You were
my
laughing the
cinema
most.
because me and my group of friends we all laughed quite a lot. We enjoyed
Okay.
it fairly enough.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I think that could also be a difference because I went with my friends. So they were like, it becomes like a cue thing, right? If your
Yeah.
friends laugh, you also kind of. I think it's like a very human. I don't know
Yeah.
how to
No,
define
no,
that
it is
myself.
like that. It is like that. But
When you watch
yeah.
in like some community, but never mind. My point being, I think the third act, the
Hmm.
part three,
The island. Yeah.
the island, which I'm going back to again, is overwritten. I
Hmm.
think that whole section
It's
where you're
also
settling
long.
in,
I didn't expect
super
it to be
long.
like a 1 hour
I
whole thing there.
know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that pulls the film behind. I don't.
Hmm.
So here's the thing. I think on paper, the thought would have been he's trying to justify a lot of things and make people aware about a lot of things, the
I think
lifestyle
it's
on the
provoking.
island. I mean, whatever. I think he was.
Hmm.
That's what the thought was.
Hmm.
But when you go and film it, and then when you come and sit and you see the film and edit, I think you can't edit those pieces. You can
Hmm.
never edit those pieces. If you edit those pieces, it becomes too jarring then.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think that those aspects should have been edited while you're writing the screenplay itself. I mean,
Got
that's
it.
what I would say.
I mean, you
Because
haven't,
I
Sanjeet. I will recommend you a movie which you will never see. But you should see Pacifiction, which is also set on an island where nothing happens. You will love that.
God,
It's
like
2 hours,
you
45
literally
minutes.
threw a slipper on my face while you're talking. Never mind. I think yeah, that's what I felt. I think
Okay.
I liked how it ended though.
Hmm.
The last few minutes of it, I really like, because
Hmm.
at some point I was like, okay, now you should really end now at some point, man. Like, because you've stretched it for way too long. I did feel
Yeah.
it that way. That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
I don't like it as much as I did when I was watching, because I think the ending was very nice.
I definitely
But
felt the
yeah,
length of
that's
the film a lot of times, but like it was just during the last section, I was like, okay, I kind of get what he's getting at. Like at something which I was like, oh, this is interesting from a like thematic point of view.
for sure, for sure.
Because in Force Majeure, and
Mm-hmm.
actually I won't spoil it because you haven't seen it. I don't know if you'll see
Mm-hmm.
it ever. But anyways, there's he ends the film on a provocation in Force Majeure.
Mm-hmm.
uh like he flips roles in a way which are very interesting, and in here he's kind of going all like, the main thing is capital, or the main thing is
Mm-hmm.
money. Gender
Mm-hmm.
roles, ethnicities, everything comes kind of below it,
Yeah.
almost, because you
Mm-hmm.
have a gender, or you have a someone else is in control on the island. The person who was sitting below in the
Yeah. Yeah.
decks is now
In the
the
decks,
person in control, and she who is
captain.
she is the captain, and she acts like someone who is the captain, like
Pretends.
not a sympathetic, because
Yeah.
she
Pretends.
is.
Pretends. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah,
she's learned,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
How
yeah,
others
yeah,
have been.
yeah, basically. So it's not like I because I'm not like the white person, I'll be like the savior or like the nice person. She's as
Mm.
cruel as the
As
others,
yeah.
except
Yeah.
the fact that she actually does the work. So I was also like, well, she has
Yeah.
a point. Like she does a lot of the stuff herself. Like these people aren't doing
Yes.
anything.
Anything at all,
So
because they're
yeah, so
incapable of doing anything. It's
exactly.
like, you've heard those, like there was this Mughal emperor, the last Mughal emperor, right?
Hmm.
And when the Britishers were coming to,
Hmm.
take over the palace and whatever,
Hmm.
he got off his bed, but he could never wear his slippers because he was so used to wearing slippers by his
Someone
servants.
else. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I think
It's
it's like,
funny. It's funny. No, no, it's a funny concept, and I think it's just. But I think the provocative bit is the fact that
you
the female he head.
you can't even do, yeah, yeah.
No, no, but he's
Yeah.
provoking by doing the whole ki gender reversal ho gaya and everything ho gaya, and now the man is getting exploited because he's a good-looking man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's doing that. He's done this before in Force Majeure, but it was
Mm,
like
sorry.
a
Mm-hmm.
provocative last scene.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's a provocative last stretch. Like it's the
Mm-hmm.
whole scene is about that, and then it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exploring everything there. But then the ending is good, where she gets
Mm-hmm.
um.
In an ambiguous way, we end up
No, I
in a
mean it's
certain
not. I don't think
space.
it's that ambiguous. It's like, of course, she won't
I
lose
know,
her
I know,
control. Like she, why
I
would
know.
she kill Yaya in the film? Yeah,
She
and
would.
yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
I
she
know.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did. I mean, it's not
pretty
ambiguous.
obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty obvious. I like the track at the end was also very nice.
What was the track?
I forgot, but I'll send
You
you
forgot. You
the track.
liked it so much, you forgot.
No, it's there in my playlist, so I never like bother. I just like listen to it. I don't soundtrack. Oh,
I mean, there's a
mm,
soundtrack in a Ruben Östlund film. I think that's a big, big, that's big news for whoever's familiar with his work. because है नहीं उसकी picture में वैसे
It's
ज़्यादा कुछ।
called, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Maria.
Okay.
Super nice track, super nice.
Good.
It's by
And
Fred again.
fantastic, not fantastic, but very, very solid performances from everyone at least in the film,
Absolutely, absolutely.
right?
And you know, condolences to the lead actress.
Shalby
She
Dean. Yeah.
Shalby Dean, who passed away
Yeah.
unfortunately recently, like
Yeah.
very recently,
Yeah.
August 29th, 2022.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I think I am kind of like done with mine. I think, do you want to add anything more to it? I don't know.
No, I mean, I was surprised. We had discussed this before. We were surprised at how little of Woody
I
Harrelson
knew
there
we
is.
were going to discuss because we were going to jam on points, right?
No,
And
Woody
it's always
Harrelson.
nice.
I was talking
Oh,
about.
Woody Harrelson. Okay,
He's
yeah,
barely
never mind.
there. So anyone
But
expecting
he's
him to
good.
be, he's good. He's a
He's
Marxist
nice.
orator, basically. Again, no,
That.
I'm not endorsing anything. It's just what happens in the
Oh
film.
my God.
Uh, yeah.
Why are you so scared?
I'm scared of our listeners.
No, don't be. They like us. Okay,
Sure.
but props to Zlatko Buric. I don't know if
He's
I'm
the
pronouncing his name
cinematographer.
correct. No, the Russian
Oh,
billionaire
oh, okay, fine.
who was
Dimitri.
also who was
Wow,
also the Russian.
what a not non-stereotypical name for a Russian. Dimitri.
who was also the Russian billionaire in 2012, the Roland Emmerich film.
What a connection. I watched Triangle of Sadness and then 2012.
I didn't watch it. I've
In that
seen.
he played Russian oligarch also. I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said.
Come on, Östlund, you're better than that. You can not typecast people in these roles.
Or maybe it was deliberate.
Oh yeah, homage to 2012, the
Yeah.
awesome film by Roland
Yeah.
Emmerich. Yeah,
The world ending.
yeah,
2012, and like, you know, never
yeah.
mind.
We are all
I
in
think,
like living post world, right? Post
yeah. The whole,
apocalypse.
like how the third act of the film was like a postscript anyway.
Wow, Sanjeet, you
Yeah.
are dumping.
I am only dumping on it because I know I liked it. No, I think I'm not going to
He
take away
edits
from
his
the
film
film.
though, you know, Ruben
He
Östlund.
edited this film?
Him and Mikael C. Carlson.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, kind of makes sense. He's like
yeah. Wait,
nicely
but
indulgent,
aren't
right?
like most people kind of editors on their films to a certain extent though?
I mean, the directors who have been like editors are kind of like indulgent, you know, in a way.
Are they?
Like they don't really like cutting things off.
Who's
Like,
the David Lowry cuts his own films, right?
see, like you can see the difference, right? I mean,
Not indulgent, is he?
I mean, indulgent, I don't mean in a negative way. Like you see a Kashyap film, like a Vasan Bala film. It's like a nice indulgence that way, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Got it.
So I think that's a good thing. I'm not like saying it's a bad thing. I like
Yeah.
if the
I mean,
director.
David Lowry is a fantastic editor.
I think if you want to be a good director, you have to be a good editor. That's my philosophy in life.
Yeah.
Anyway, like
RGV edits his own films, I'm guessing.
You wish he did, but he's like, yeah, never mind. Like how Terrence Malick edits his 20-hour cuts and removes Christian Bale out of song to song and shit like that.
Yeah. Adrian Brody was pissed about the Thin Red Line. After that, I don't think anyone's been pissed. Because everyone knows that he'll cut them out if they're not there that much. But yeah, I mean, Christian Bale has his own film with Terrence Malick, so it's fine. 2 films he's done, actually. Night of Cups and The New World.
Oh, is there a New World also?
He's the main it's the second lead, third lead, whatever. Colin Farrell is the second lead.
Third lead.
He's basically in the portion of the film which is actually really, really terrific. Christian Bale.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we can't end without doing like Terrence Malick and RGV mention. So
yeah.
like
You forced it. I didn't even like want to mention.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. But never mind. I think I at the end would say I would recommend.
No, I'd also recommend it. It's just that I would say that have like
I think it's long, so you be prepared for it because I wasn't prepared. Not coffee, popcorn also is nice.
Actually,
you
that's
sleep.
True. Yeah, that's true. Popcorn is nice, but have popcorn nice. Though. Have something.
Or nachos.
I didn't have anything. Oh,
for our
because it's a
nachos.
triangle. Nice, Sanjeet.
Subtle comedy. This is the cutting edge analysis that people come into this podcast for. Did you ever
Of
know?
course they do. Of course they do. What do you, why do you think we are the hosts of this
Yeah.
podcast?
And the second thing that they come for is Amartya's rants. Okay.
That will
Never
be.
mind.
I don't think he'll like this movie, by the way. So it'll be fun. I'll.
I am pretty. He's like, some. Yeah, I know what he'll say. So typical of him. And then I'll ask him,
Everyone's
please don't
typical
shit on
now.
this film.
No, but there'll be a lot
I'm
of
also
episodes
typical.
on actually good films. Like this is also good. Like I'm not denying that, but like actually
Yeah.
great stuff. There's so much that's out.
Hopefully so. Yes.
No, you
I
will
think
watch
we'll.
Decision to Leave. So yes,
I
that is
am going to
definitely
watch.
getting
Yes.
discussed. And Bong is not
Yeah.
coming on that episode, so it's gonna be a gush fest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only fun.
I mean, Bong can
Chalo.
come. It's just that he'll have to revise his opinion about the film. So
Okay. I don't know if Bong is listening to this episode. If he listens.
he'll listen to
But
this.
never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I think this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for supporting us till now. Please rate us on Spotify because it helps us to reach out to more people. Please write us a review. We'll really appreciate that. If there's anything you would like us to change, please DM us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram as well, where we'll keep posting more updates. More new episodes.
We'll ask more
about to come.
questions just to get more answers, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's good in general. Like,
We'll be more
fairly
desperate.
engaging. Yeah, we are kind of, but like never mind. You can follow Dhruv on his Instagram at Terminal Cinema. You can follow me at Pixel Up. You can follow us at Queensnet.film podcast. Although it's inactive, but stories are gonna keep coming. This is never gonna die. It's gonna be there.
Unlike the name of the podcast, and unlike the person it's inspired on, also.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay, this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Khadam.
I command you, enjoy the moment.
No.
What? You say no to me?
No.
Oh, so it's yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes?
Going in.
Yes!